Jim, this is a very significant piece of early muscle car history. What are we talking about?
We stumbled onto this car quite by accident and doing some research and finding some things, and you'll see when we unveil. The big thing that turned us on to figure out what the car was is the 409 emblems on this thing are just a little bit crooked, and I'll be able to talk about the story on that in a few minutes when we pull the covers on this thing.
Well, the people came to see the car, so why don't we pull the cover and then we'll learn about it after.
All right, we'll do it.
All right.
You grab a corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 1962 Chevrolet Impala Z11 lightweight race car. So at first glance, you might think that this is a regular Impala.
Yeah, Chevrolet was involved in the muscle car wars back in the early 60s, but they were starting to get blindsided by Chrysler Corporation, who had lightweight cars. Pontiac came out with their Super Duties and aluminum front end. And of course, Chevrolet being the biggest division of General Motors, they didn't want to get left behind. So the 409 was out and they were pushing the Super Sport. That's the reason why these lightweights are all done in Super Sport trim. But they left out the dum-dum and the flooring and so forth in the car. But they weren't originally built with the aluminum front ends on it. The aluminum front end didn't come out until middle of June. This particular car was ordered earlier in the year and it ran as an A production car. It was a 409. But when Chevrolet came out with this new idea to go ahead and get themselves back into the race, they went ahead and released a package which consisted of the aluminum front fenders, inner fenders, hood, the upgraded cylinder heads, the two-piece intake manifold, special camshaft, aluminum water pump, and was able to go ahead and get themselves competitive. Unfortunately, the one problem they did have was stamping out aluminum product. And especially if you take a look on the inner fenders on it, they wrinkled horribly and the aluminum would rip. So what they did is they built 18 cars at the assembly plant in Flint, Michigan, somewhere between 16 and 18, we can't come up with an exact number, and then they went ahead and other cars that had gotten out earlier in the year, they shipped the parts and pieces to go ahead and update the cars. This was one of the cars where the pieces were updated. If you'll notice on the front fenders of the car, the 409 emblems, both on the right and the left front fender, are just a little bit crooked. And when researching the car, we discovered a guy named Larry Morrison, who is the cousin of Dick Harrell, and he happened to be on the race crew for Harrell at the time. This car was the car that ran BFX and won the BFX Winter Nationals in 1963 with Dick Harrell at the wheel. And so we've done the research and we've gone ahead and chased all the owners back. Believe it or not, they all still live with the exception of Dick. This car only has 304 original miles on it. It has been painted one time, because a black car coming out of New Mexico, black didn't survive very well. But otherwise, this is completely original. And if you take a look at the anodized and the stainless and so forth on this car, it's like brand new, and that explains why.
That is just an incredible story, and it's an amazing achievement to be able to do the research, connect the dots, and verify everything, and then have a car that's this complete here today.
Well, the car didn't look anything like it does now. When I bought the car, it looked like just another 409 Chevrolet, and the thing that put me to it is I had a black 62 409 at one time, and I discovered quite by accident when we looked at it, and I opened up the hood to look at this car, and the hood went up way too easy. My son was with me, and I asked him if I could borrow his magnet and started checking, and then of course I saw the two-piece intake, and I said, I know what I'm looking at.
Well, this car is a tremendous find, and it is very lucky to have found you to do the restoration on it and bring it back to its racing glory. And we really appreciate you bringing it out. And this is one of those shows where you'll see cars like this. You're not going to find stuff like this at your local weekend cruise. So, Jim, thank you for bringing it out. Awesome, awesome car.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yep.